Chosen one, I need you to stop. Stop everything you are doing right now. Stop the movement of your body. Quiet the racing of your mind and put aside the distractions that are fighting for your attention. Close the other tabs on your screen. Put your phone on. Do not disturb. Pause the world for just a moment, because what I am about to reveal to you in the next few minutes is not something you can consume casually. This is not entertainment. This is not motivation. This is a divine surgery for your spirit, and surgery requires stillness. I am speaking to you now because heaven has authorized a message that has been held back until this precise second. It was not released yesterday, and it will be too late if you hear it a month from now. You are here in this moment reading these words because your spirit summoned this truth. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit navigated you through the noise of the digital world to bring you to this checkpoint. However, I must be crystal clear before we go any deeper. This message is not for everyone. In fact, it is likely that 90% of people who stumble upon this will feel uncomfortable, bored, or even irritated, and they will leave. And that is exactly how it should be. The deep things of God are not for the curious. They are for the committed. If you are not a chosen one, if you have not walked through the fire, if you are not currently standing in a place of spiritual exhaustion and confusion, this message will not resonate with you. But if you are still here, if you feel a magnetic pull in your chest, a witnessing in your spirit that says, "Stay, this is for me," then I need you to lock in. This is your confirmation. God is speaking right now because something fundamental must be corrected. And I need you to brace yourself because what I am about to say requires humility to speak and courage to hear. We were wrong. I want you to let those words sink in for a moment. We were wrong. Not wrong about God's existence, not wrong about His power, not wrong about your calling, but we were wrong about how we interpreted what He was doing in this specific season. We misread the signs. We misunderstood the silence. We misinterpreted the pressure. And I say this with the deepest humility and clarity I can muster. We thought we knew the pattern, but God is breaking the pattern to break us free. God is bringing this correction to you now, not to shame you, but to liberate you. If this message has reached you, it is arriving at the perfect moment. Not a minute too late, not a second too early. It is arriving right now because what you believe in this season will determine whether you walk into the next chapter, broken and exhausted, or whole and empowered. If you do not hear this correction, if you do not allow the Holy Spirit to adjust your lens, you may continue carrying a crushing pressure that God never intended for you to bear. God says you must hear this now, not tomorrow, not later, now, because clarity is replacing confusion and truth is settling where assumptions once lived. Stay with me. Do not let your mind wander, because what you are about to understand will lift the weight off your mind and restore the peace that has been stolen from your spirit. Before we proceed into the depth of this revelation, I ask you to engage with this moment. This is an act of spiritual agreement. Like this message, to signal your presence. Subscribe if you are part of the remnant. And in the comments, I want you to type the number 444. Do this as a sign that you are ready for divine correction, for realignment, and for the hard truth that heals. 444 is the number of stability, of angelic protection, and of grounding. It is a declaration that says, "Lord, I am ready to be grounded in the truth." Now, take a deep breath. Inhale deeply, hold it, and exhale slowly. I want you to breathe because correction often triggers fear in people who genuinely love God. When you hear the words, "We were wrong," or "You need correction," your nervous system might tense up. You might feel a spike of anxiety. You might wonder, did I fail? Did I sin? Have I been led astray? Is God angry with me? Let me answer you with the absolute authority of Scripture and the gentleness of the Father's heart. No, you did not fail. You are not being rejected, you are being refined. You must understand the profound difference between condemnation and correction. The enemy brings condemnation. Condemnation feels heavy, like a wet blanket that suffocates you. It attacks your identity. It says, you are wrong, therefore you are bad. You missed it, therefore you are disqualified. Condemnation pushes you away from God and makes you want to hide in the shadows. But that is not what is happening here. God brings correction. Correction feels like a laser beam. It is sharp, yes, but it is made of light. It cuts away the confusion to reveal the masterpiece underneath. Condemnation says, you should have known better. Correction says, you couldn't have known yet, but now you are ready to know. There is a massive difference. You are not being corrected because you went off the path. You are being corrected because you have walked far enough along the path that you are ready for a higher level of instruction. God does not correct people who are not listening. He does not refine those who are not committed. He corrects the sons and daughters he trusts. Think about it if a teacher never corrects a student, never adjusts their technique, never shows them a better way that is not kindness. That is neglect. Correction is the highest form of attention God can give you. Many of you confuse correction with rejection because of how correction was delivered to you in the past by broken humans. Maybe you had parents who corrected you with anger. Maybe you had leaders who corrected you with shame. So your body learned to associate the feeling of being wrong with the feeling of being unsafe. But God is rewriting that trauma right now. His correction is firm because the stakes are high, but it is infinitely gentle. He is not saying, I am done with you. He is saying, I love you too much to let you keep walking with a limp when I have healing for you. So I invite you to lower your defenses. You are safe here. God is not disappointed in you for misunderstanding him while you are sincerely seeking him. In fact, he expects it. We are finite. He is infinite. Of course, we are going to misunderstand him sometimes. That is why he guides us. That is why revelation comes in layers. If God revealed the entire map to you at once, it would overwhelm your nervous system. He reveals truth as your capacity grows. And right now, chosen one, your capacity has grown. Some of you have felt a strange tension recently, a sense that something wasn't adding up anymore. Teachings that once energized you began to feel heavy. Prayer routines that once felt life-giving started to feel like a chore. Expectations that once felt motivating started to feel like a crushing weight on your chest. You thought maybe you were backsliding. You thought maybe you were being rebellious, but that was not rebellion. That was discernment awakening. Your spirit was sensing that the season had shifted even before your mind had the words to explain it. God was preparing you for this correction before you even knew you needed it. And let me address this clearly because it matters deeply. For your peace, correction does not erase your prayers. It does not cancel God's promises. It does not delay your calling. It simply refines the way those things manifest. When a captain corrects the course of a ship, he doesn't sink the ship. He ensures it arrives at the destination. If God corrects your direction, he is securing your destination. Some of you have been terrified that being wrong about the how or the when means you missed the what. That fear is a lie. God does not set traps for his chosen ones. He does not hide truth to punish you for not finding it fast enough. He reveals truth when it can be received without harm. This correction is coming to remove unnecessary pressure. I know you are tired. I can feel the exhaustion emanating from your spirit. Many of you have been carrying a weight that God never placed on your shoulders. You have been carrying the pressure to interpret every single delay as a test of your faith. You have been carrying the pressure to constantly prepare for something dramatic to happen. You have been carrying the pressure to always be alert, always braced, always waiting for impact, always scanning the horizon for the shift. God is correcting that today. You are not meant to live in a state of chronic spiritual tension. Awareness does not require anxiety. Readiness does not require exhaustion. And that is why this correction is coming with peace, not fear. If you feel a sense of relief washing over you as you hear these words, that is your confirmation. Truth brings peace even when it challenges us. Condemnation brings heaviness. Correction brings clarity. So let us speak honestly now without fear and without pretending. We need to look at exactly what we misunderstood. We need to diagnose the spiritual condition that has left so many of us drained. We believed we clearly understood what God was doing in this season. We thought we could see the pattern. We looked at the chaos in the world. We looked at the shifting in the spirit, and we thought we knew what the waiting meant. We told ourselves, this is the calm before the storm. We told ourselves, any day now the dam is going to break. And at the time, that understanding made sense. It wasn't foolish. It wasn't careless. It was logical based on what we had experienced in previous seasons. But over time, something started to feel off. What once brought excitement, that feeling of it could happen today, slowly turned into a low-grade pressure. What once felt like holy anticipation began to feel like a chronic strain on the soul. Many of you stayed faithful. You didn't quit, but you were quietly confused. You kept telling yourself, just a little longer, just hold on one more day. Yet the weight kept increasing instead of lifting. That confusion didn't come from a lack of faith. It came from expectation colliding with reality. We believed God was preparing us for an external event. We thought the waiting was simply a countdown before a visible release, and so we stayed braced. We kept our spiritual muscles tensed, ready to spring into action. But living in a constant state of bracing does something to the human nervous system. It keeps you in fight or flight mode. It keeps you scanning for threats or miracles constantly. It keeps you from fully resting in the present moment because you are always living 5 minutes in the future. Over time, this vigilance exhausted you, and that is where the confusion deepened. You started asking, why am I so tired? If I'm trusting God, shouldn't I have energy? You may have felt guilty for that fatigue, thinking it was a spiritual weakness. But exhaustion is not always a sign of disobedience. Sometimes exhaustion is a symptom of misinterpretation. It is a sign that you are holding a posture that God has released you from. We also got confused because we compared this season to past seasons. In the past, God moved in ways that were visible and dramatic. There were clear endings and clear beginnings. But this time, the shift felt slower. It felt quieter. It felt internal. And because the pattern was different, it felt unfamiliar. We tried to interpret a winter season with a summer mindset. We assumed urgency meant movement was imminent. We assumed discomfort meant the baby was coming right now. But God does not repeat himself mechanically. He is not a machine. He is a father. Some of you felt like you were always on the verge of something living on the edge of your seat, yet nothing fully arrived. That almost there feeling lingered for months, maybe years. And when almost there becomes a permanent state of being, it creates internal conflict. You start questioning your own discernment. You wonder if you are crazy. You wonder if you made the whole thing up. This is where we must admit we were wrong. We thought the silence meant God was testing us to see how long we could hold on. We thought if we relaxed, we might miss the breakthrough. We thought if we stopped watching the wall, the enemy might breach the city. But God was not asking you to hold your breath. He was asking you to learn how to breathe underwater. He was not asking you to stand guard. He was asking you to rest in the fortress He had already built. The correction is simple, but profound. We mistook internal recalibration for external preparation. We thought God was getting us ready to do something big when He was actually getting us ready to be someone new. We spiritualized the strain, thinking that the more it hurt, the holier it was. But God is saying, I never asked you to live in pain. I asked you to live in trust. You are not wrong for trusting God. You are not wrong for hoping. But the lens through which you viewed this season was slightly out of focus, and that slight blurriness caused a massive amount of unnecessary strain. Now, God is reaching down with His hand to gently adjust the lens. He is bringing everything into sharp focus. And as the picture clears, you are going to realize that the pressure you felt was not coming from His hand. It was coming from your own expectations. You are safe to let go of the bracing. You are safe to exhale. You are safe to admit that you didn't know what God was doing, and that is okay, because the correction is here, and with it comes a peace that surpasses all understanding. Chosen one. This is where many people misunderstand God's heart, so I need you to listen slowly and without suspicion. You might be asking, if I was wrong, why didn't God stop me sooner? Why did He let me believe I was on the verge of a breakthrough if He knew it was a season of internal building? The answer is not that He was tricking you. The answer is that He was training you. God did not allow you to believe something incomplete because He wanted to mislead you. He allowed it because it served a vital purpose for that specific season of your growth. You must understand that partial understanding is not deception. It is development. When you were first walking through this season, you needed motivation more than you needed explanation. You needed hope more than you needed detail. If God had corrected your assumption too early, if He had told you 2 years ago that this would be a long, quiet season of internal surgery rather than a quick jump to victory, it might have crushed your spirit. You might have given up. The belief that it could happen any day gave you the adrenaline you needed to break away from your old life. It severed your attachments to the world because you were constantly ready to leave. God used that urgency to detox you from the world, and now that the detox is complete, He is removing the urgency so you can live in peace. God allowed you to believe urgency meant arrival because that belief kept you attentive, prayerful, and connected during a critical phase. It kept you from drifting back to sleep. But now, that belief has done its job. It is like scaffolding on a building. The scaffolding is necessary while you are building the walls, but once the structure is solid, the scaffolding must come down so the building can be revealed. You are trying to hold on to the scaffolding of constant urgency when God is saying, the walls are up. You are strong now. You can stand without the adrenaline. Another reason God allowed this is because belief reveals attachment. As long as you thought something was about to happen externally, it revealed how much you depended on outcomes for your peace. You needed to see that your stability was tied to the promise, not the provider. God does not expose these attachments to shame you. He exposes them to free you. He allowed you to feel the fatigue of waiting so that you would eventually surrender the need to control the timeline. That tiredness you felt was information. It taught you that living in constant anticipation is not sustainable. It showed you that faith-rooted in tension will eventually collapse. God allowed you to feel that limits of your human strength so you would finally collapse into His divine strength. God also allowed this because it exposed performance-based faith. Many chosen ones unknowingly tie their worth to their spiritual productivity or their alertness. The belief that something was about to happen made you strive. It made you watch yourself closely. It made you measure your faith constantly. God allowed that pressure to build until you realized that you cannot earn the breakthrough by watching for it harder. You are learning that your worth is not proven by vigilant strain or endurance. Your worth is inherent. You are chosen before you perform. That is a lesson that must be lived, not just taught. Now we arrive at the point where confusion gives way to clarity. This is where the weight lifts. God is speaking plainly now. He is correcting the narrative so you can breathe again. What God is saying clearly now is this. This season was never about waiting for an external event. It was about stabilizing your inner world. You are not standing on the edge of a moment. You are standing in the middle of a maturation. The urgency you felt was not a countdown clock ticking away seconds. It was a call to awareness. It was a call to notice what was forming within you. God is saying clearly now that He is not measuring your faith by how alert you are or how much pressure you can tolerate. He is measuring your faith by your ability to remain grounded when answers are incomplete. That is a higher level of faith. God is also saying that peace is not something you earn after obedience. Peace is something He expects you to carry while obeying. If your spirituality consistently costs you your peace, something needs adjustment. God is correcting the definition of readiness. We thought readiness meant being tense like a runner on the starting blocks, waiting for the gun to go off. But God says readiness in this season looks like a tree planted by the water. It is not tense, it is rooted. It is not straining to find the water, it simply drinks. You do not need to anticipate His moves in order to cooperate with them. You are trying to stay one step ahead spiritually, thinking that vigilance equaled faithfulness. But God is not asking you to predict Him. He is asking you to trust Him. Trust does not ask what's next constantly. Trust says, I am held even if I don't know. Here is another clarity that brings relief. God is saying clearly now that rest is not retreat. Some of you felt guilty when your energy dropped. You thought you were losing momentum or falling out of alignment, but God says your need for rest was not weakness. It was wisdom surfacing. Your nervous system needed regulation. Your mind needed quiet. God does not need you tense to work through you. You are not missing opportunities by slowing down. You are actually avoiding misalignment. Speed without clarity creates regret. God slowed you down to protect your future decisions. Perhaps the most important correction of all is this. You do not need to prepare for loss. You need to prepare for stewardship. Many of you subconsciously braced for disappointment. You thought guarding your heart meant expecting less. But God is teaching you that guarding your heart means trusting Him with outcomes. Expecting disappointment is not protection. It is the anticipation of pain. God is inviting you into open-handed trust. He is correcting the belief that being chosen means being burdened. Chosen ones are not meant to live heavy lives. They are meant to live anchored lives. Anchored people move through storms without being uprooted, and they do it without panicking. This correction is not saying you misunderstood God completely. It is saying you misunderstood the purpose of the season. You thought it was about arrival. It was about adjustment. And once that assumption is corrected, everything changes. The waiting becomes lighter. The silence becomes less threatening. The urgency becomes calm focus instead of tension. God is not disappointed in you for making that assumption. He allowed it because it served a purpose for a time. But now that purpose is complete. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You are not missing anything. You are simply stepping into a clearer understanding of what God has been doing all along. This correction changes how you move forward. It changes your posture. You are no longer bracing for impact. You are no longer holding your breath, waiting for the next sign. You begin to stand in your life instead of leaning forward anxiously. That shift alone brings relief to your body and clarity to your mind. You stop asking, what am I about to face? And you start asking, how do I stay aligned right now? That is a powerful change. This correction also changes how you experience waiting. Waiting no longer feels like suspense. It feels like integration. You understand now that God is not delaying to test you. He is pacing to protect you. So the waiting becomes gentler, more spacious, less heavy. You will notice that your thoughts slow down. The constant mental scanning fades. You don't feel the same urgency to interpret every emotional moment spiritually. You allow life to unfold without analyzing it constantly. That does not make you less spiritual. It makes you more grounded. You are also gaining emotional freedom. When the pressure to be ready dissolves, your emotions settle. You feel less guilt for resting, less anxiety about missing something, and less frustration with yourself for not feeling excited all the time. You stop judging your inner state. This correction strengthens your discernment. You become more sensitive to what is truly from God and what is generated by your own expectation or fear. You no longer confuse intensity with importance. Calm guidance becomes easier to recognize going forward. When something is truly aligned, it will feel clear, not chaotic. It will feel steady, not rushed. Your relationship with God deepens in a quieter way. Prayer becomes less about asking for updates and more about connection. You stop negotiating with God internally. You stop trying to manage outcomes through spiritual effort. Trust becomes your default posture. You stop explaining your process to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop seeking validation for where you are. You become comfortable with being misunderstood because you are no longer confused about yourself. That inner certainty is a gift of correction. Going forward, you will notice that obedience feels lighter. Not easier, because life is still life, but lighter. You will move when God says move, and you will rest when He says rest. You will not force motion in silence. This correction teaches you patience without passivity and action without anxiety. You will be less reactive when things don't unfold as expected. You won't immediately assume you misunderstood God. You will remain calm, trusting that understanding unfolds over time. That emotional steadiness will change how you experience challenges. You stop measuring progress by external signs and start measuring it by internal alignment. Peace becomes your indicator. Clarity becomes your compass, and that keeps you from chasing illusions. Correction is proof of calling. Chosen one, let this truth rest gently in your spirit as we come to the end of this message. Correction is not a sign that you missed God, nor is it a sign that He has abandoned you. It is the ultimate sign that He is close. God corrects what He values. He refines what He intends to use. He realigns those He trusts with deeper truth. If you were not chosen, God would let you continue in the comfortable illusion. He would let you stay in the shallow end of understanding. But because you are marked for a high purpose, He loves you enough to interrupt your assumptions. You were never wrong for believing. You were never misguided for hoping. You are simply growing, and growth always includes moments where understanding matures and perspectives are refined. This does not weaken your faith. It strengthens it. It anchors it. It makes it sustainable for the long haul. This correction was not meant to unsettle you or make you doubt yourself. It was meant to lift the heavy weight off your mind and restore peace to your spirit. It was meant to free you from the pressure you were never meant to carry, and to remind you that God's guidance is calm, steady, and intentional. As you move forward from this moment, do so without haste. You do not need to rush to make up for lost time, because no time was lost, it was invested in your maturity. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. What God has prepared for you will unfold in His timing, in His way, without requiring you to sacrifice your peace along the way. Walk forward grounded. Let clarity guide you instead of urgency. Let trust replace tension, and let peace be your confirmation that you are aligned. You have permission now to change your approach. You have permission to stop straining your spiritual eyes trying to see around the corner. You are safe to just walk the path, one step at a time. The correction has done its work. The pressure valve has been released. You can breathe again. Now I want to seal this correction in the spirit. I want to pray over you to break off the spirit of heaviness and to activate this new season of grounded peace. Wherever you are, if you can close your eyes and open your hands to receive. Father, I come before you in the mighty name of Jesus, lifting up this chosen one who has faithfully stayed until the end of this message. Lord, you know their heart. You know how much they want to please you. You know how hard they have tried to stay alert, to stay ready, and to stay faithful. You have seen their tears in the confusion. You have felt their exhaustion in the waiting. Lord, I thank you for your mercy that brings correction. I thank you that you love us too much to leave us in unnecessary pressure. Right now, I ask for a supernatural release of all the weight they have been carrying. I command the spirit of heaviness to lift off their shoulders right now. I command the spirit of anxiety, the spirit of striving, and the fear of missing out to flee from their mind. Father, wash their mind with the water of your word. Where there has been confusion, let there be crystal clear peace. Where there has been condemnation, let there be the warmth of your approval. I declare over them that they have not failed. They have not missed their window. They are exactly where they need to be, undergoing the refinement that leads to glory. I pray for a recalibration of their nervous system. Calm their body, Lord. Let them sleep deeply tonight, free from the need to figure it all out. I pray that you would replace their tension with trust. Teach them the rhythm of grace. Teach them how to walk with you in the cool of the day, not running ahead and not lagging behind, but right, step with your heartbeat. I seal this correction in their spirit. Let it settle deep. Let the lies of the enemy that told them they were disqualified be silenced forever. I decree that they are entering a season of clarity, a season of stability, and a season of profound, unshakable peace. What you have started in them, you will be faithful to complete. We thank you that the best is not just coming, the best is being built within them right now. In Jesus' name, amen. Chosen one, take a deep breath. Feel that is the lightness of truth. You are aligned, you are loved, and you are ready. If this message brought relief, understanding, or quiet confirmation to your heart, take a moment now to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this message with other chosen ones who may be carrying unnecessary pressure. And as a final act of agreement, comment the number 444 in the comments below. 444 is a sign of stability and protection. By typing it, you are saying, I am aligned with divine correction. I am grounded in truth. I am ready to walk in peace. Remember this, chosen one correction is not rejection. It is proof of calling. You are still chosen. You are still guided. And now you move forward clearer, lighter, and steadier than before. God is with you. Shalom.